Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the train went home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah. This is a golden hour, where the light hits right, where New Bern shines in that coastal light. Every voice, every story, every dream out loud. Yeah, we're lifting up this city proud. This is a golden hour. Well, it ain't golden. Yeah. Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the tram winds home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah, this is a golden hour. Ooh, I am. Ooh, I am. Ooh, I am. This is the golden hour. Yeah.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the Golden Hour. I am really excited about today's show and today's guest, but as usual, I am going to introduce you to another property. This is 443 Peregrine Ridge Drive. This one is larger than the other ones I've been showing you the past couple of weeks. It has 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a living room, eat-in kitchen design, but then this one also has a bonus room above the garage, which is really great for families, and it is extremely close to being done. So I encourage you to reach out and go take a look at it. It's listed for $359,900, which is a fantastic price point for new construction. So today, I'm really hoping you guys will interact with us today. I have a very special guest, and I've kind of like referred to him as him and his partner in business as the people behind all the things, not all, but many of the things of downtown New Bern. But they're real quiet about it. So a lot of people just don't know them yet. So let me introduce you guys to Vaughn Lewis. Hello, Vaughn. Oh, hold on. Let me try again. Hello, Vaughn. Can you hear me now?
Hi, Lene. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, I am great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just staying busy, trying to keep my head screwed on tight.
I can imagine so. There is a whole lot going on that I'm really excited to talk to you about. But let's first, if you will, introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you, where you come from, where you grew up, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm actually from not too far from downtown, from the metropolis of Vanceboro, North Carolina, which is about 25 minutes away. I'm from what I would like to call downtown Vanceboro, and that is by the single stoplight that we have. Yeah, I love Vanceboro. It's a nice little quiet town. I'm happy to be based in New Bern now. I've lived all over the United States, working in theater, resorts, or theme parks, and worked a little bit on cruise ships, and now happily based here with my family in New Bern, and own a couple businesses and still do entertainment, and love New Bern a lot. I'm actively involved in not necessarily New Bern politics, but goings on in downtown New Bern, where
Mhm.
my businesses are located. And I just love this town. I care about what happens in this town a lot.
I love that. Well, before we move on to all the fun things, Newbern, let's learn a little bit about you and what you like, what you're passionate about, what you do. So you said already, like a little tidbit, that you were in theater and performing. What pulled you into that musical theater and performing side of things?
Yeah, that's a good question. Growing up in Vanceboro,
I know,
at
because
least when
that's
I was
something
there,
interesting too. It's kind of
there,
country.
there wasn't a lot to do. I mean, there definitely wasn't theater in Vanceboro. I mean, there was a little
Hmm.
bit of arts in the schools and everything. And about the time I got into middle school, I tried sports. I wasn't good at sports at all. I tried them all, even golf. And so one of my friends, neighborhood friends, was involved in theater, a couple of them, and I went to my first audition at the New Bern Civic Theater for a show called Oliver, which is about the orphan kid, and I got into the show, got to play a little orphan boy in the ensemble, and the theater bug bit me, and I've been doing performance ever since then, and ended up going to school for musical theater, and just really love performing on stage, making people happy, making people smile, and giving some kind of joy in life.
Well, you like mentioned you traveled like crazy ahead of time. Like you said, cruise ships, theme parks, lounges, theaters. Which would you say, which season of that career do you think shaped you the most?
I don't know. They all shaped me in many different ways. Right out of college, I moved to New York City, lived in New York City a little bit. I did some regional theaters in Pennsylvania, in California, worked in theme parks in Maryland. Then I moved to Los Angeles. Yeah, they all shaped me in different ways. I mean, it's funny because I got more musical theater work in when I was living in Los Angeles than I did when I was living in New York City. I
Oh.
got more film work, living in other smaller markets than I did in Los Angeles. I guess because, in New York City, there are lots of, 5'7", tenors who can sing. And so I was just, the same as everybody else. But in LA, I was, a guy who could sing, even though everybody there looked really good. So a lot of them can't really sing. So, I got more work there. And, I've always had, ever since college, at the end of college, I got a film agent, and I'd been submitting for films all the time or commercial work. And occasionally I get, a commercial here or there. I'd get like a film gig or a TV pilot or something. So every year, I mean, it was something different.
Mhm.
I would say the most transformational year was probably working at the Greenbrier Resort as a lounge singer in residence, because that is where I got to meet Abby, my wife,
Oh.
and she was a singer there in the group of singers. And we decided to do a duo act together. Her last name was Clark at the time.
Hmm.
So I just saw it fitting that we should be Lewis and Clark.
Love it.
And, it just kind of took off from there. And now we have two beautiful children and businesses here in New Bern.
That's amazing. Well, Lewis and Clark is still a thing, right? They're still
Yeah,
performing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, tell me
We got
something.
a show coming up June 13th at Rivertown Players. We're doing the songs of Jimmy Buffett, and
Oh,
we're gonna be performing with a band, and tickets are available rivertownplayers.org. And we
awesome.
just had our first rehearsal with them last night, and it was so much fun. And it's gonna be just a blast, the show.
That's
So I
amazing.
hope everybody can come see it. June 13th, a 3:30 show, a 7:30 show, and tickets are at rivertownplayers.org.
I love that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I think I'm gonna get myself some tickets. You've also been in some films. You mentioned that. My dad just screamed Greenbrook. So tell us a little bit about your theater, not theater, your movie life.
Yeah, so, I went to school for theater. Theater is very different than film, obviously. Most
Hmm.
people know that. In theater, you perform a lot of times the same show over and over again. On Broadway, it's 8 times a week for however long the show runs or however long you're hired for.
Hmm.
Film, you have a few chances to get it right, and you know, you got to get it right because it's going to live forever,
Yeah.
right? Um, it was always very hard for me to decide which one I wanna do, so I try to do a lot of it all at the same time, which I don't know if that's the best way to go about it, but that's just the way I did it. As I said before, I had an agent that always submitted me for auditions. I mean, I think as an actor, a lot of people don't understand you submit auditions after audition after audition after audition, and it's almost like auditioning is the job until you get the other job.
Mhm.
And sometimes, things stick, sometimes they don't. I can send in 100 auditions, maybe get 3 callbacks, and maybe if you're lucky, book that one job.
Mhm.
My first SAG gig was, a TV pilot that, it's kinda got lost in the ethers. It was like a sci-fi show thing, kinda weird thing. But my first studio picture happened back in 2014. I was cast as, Ray Price in, a Hank Williams Sr. biopic called I Saw the Light, starring
Mhm.
Tom Hiddleston as, Hank Williams. That was a lot of fun. Would never have imagined that I would have been sharing the screen with Tom Hiddleston. This was right before his, big blow up with Marvel and everything. I remember him, off the side of the, camera talking with his, assistant about upcoming, contracts for Marvel, and he was like, "If they don't give me $1,000,000, I'm not gonna do it," or blah, blah, and I was like, "Dang, I wish I could talk about that one
Yeah.
day." Um
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it was just, that was the first studio picture, and around that same time, it's funny, sometimes it's feast and famine, I got cast as Billy the Kid in a Fox News Network, kinda drama docuseries about different, outlaws in the West, and I got to ride horses and shoot guns out in, Arizona, New Mexico area, kind of every guy's dream, right?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, and most recently, it was Green Book in 2018, I believe. I was the role of Bobby Rydell. I got to sing and portray Bobby Rydell in the beginning of the movie,
Mhm.
singing "That Old Black Magic," for about the first 2.5, 3 minutes, so, you can't miss me unless you're late for the movie.
That is awesome. So what changed? What changed your direction from being I mean you're still performing and stuff, but the big screen and all of that, what shifted it to coming back to Eastern North Carolina?
Well, I always said that I love New Bern, would always come back to this part of the state. Between contracts, between gigs, I was always coming back and visiting friends and family anyway. What really changed it, Abby and I had gotten off the cruise ships. We were performing Carnival Cruise Lines in the South Pacific, Australia, and such, doing our kind of vintage music that we specialize in. We, were living in New Bern for a couple of years, and then I get those movies happen, and everything's going up and up with performing. And I was slated to have the biggest year I think I was ever gonna have in performing in 2020,
Mm.
and of course, we all know what happened in that year that we shall not speak of. Uh, right before the pandemic kinda was announced and everything, I was in New York City performing at, Times Square, Hilton, with gigs slated all over the country, and then the pandemic hit, and it was kinda like, "Hold up," and, we had just bought our first house, we had just, had our first child, so things were it was kinda crazy to see what the world was gonna do.
Mhm.
At that time, we had also closed on buying the Baxter building, which is where our restaurant is, Baxter's
Mhm.
1892. So we're in the middle of, drawings when the pandemic hits, like, well, we have nothing else to do. We can't, live events were all, you
Mhm.
know, kind of extinct at that time. So we just knuckled down, buckled down, and followed through with Baxter's, and that took a few years to open up, but everything was, opening up slowly at that time. And of course, I get busy with Baxter's, so I'm not doing as much performing at that time. But now that that's open, I've been slowly getting back into more performing. Abby and I are still performing. So, to say that I've left performing, I couldn't say that because,
Mhm.
given the opportunities, I would, do it again and pursue it. But I'm
Mhm.
opening another business now, and so I've gotta wait until things kinda settle back out and get
Mhm.
back into the audition sphere.
Gonna be amazing. Well, let's go back to Baxter's real quick because that was a good transition that you did there. What is Baxter's? Is it just another
Yeah.
downtown bar? Like,
No,
I feel like that's
it's
what some
actually
people think. So let's talk about
it's
that.
actually a restaurant. It's a restaurant. We have some full entrees. In the beginning, I'll give some people some credit. We did start as tapas, which is small plates, Spanish for small
Mhm,
plates, basically. And so as we saw that was kind of not really working in the area, we wanted to expand our food selections. We've expanded and we've had, full entrees for the last, I would say, almost 2.5, 3 years.
mhm,
And we're going on our fourth year now. So we pivoted pretty fast. And we have music every Thursday night through Sunday, twice on Sunday. We have piano brunch on Sunday from 11 to 2. And then we have evening music 5 to 7 on Sundays. We are open on Wednesdays, but we don't have music much on Wednesdays. We like to give it kind of a quiet atmosphere at that time. We're a high end cocktail bar with, I believe, some of the best cocktails in New Bern.
I agree. They're delicious. And do you still have, I think you do. Last time I was there, that sounds terrible because it hasn't been 4 kids. It's really hard to get out sometimes. Um, the
I
egg
understand.
roll, the barbecue, like
Oh yes.
whole thing.
Yeah,
Um,
so
Good.
recently we got a new chef. Our
Hmm.
chef that started with us retired and passed the torch on to Jay Danielson, who we have now, who's Chef Jay's doing a great job. We've expanded some of our food choices, and we did keep some of the regulars. Some of them, we put off to the side seasonally,
Hmm.
but we do have the egg roll, the pulled pork egg roll with the collard greens in it and the bang bang sauce on the side. It's just delicious. One of my
It
favorites, and I don't think we could
sounds
ever get it.
weird. Like it really does. And I remember actually Kelsey, I don't even know if you know this. Kelsey came to visit and I was like, it's a new place opened. She wasn't living here yet. We're gonna go. Kelsey is my sister, for anybody who doesn't know. We went down, we ate, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna try this." And I was like, "That sounds disgusting." She's like, "No, I guarantee." And then it was like this big. That thing was a monster.
Yeah,
And
it's yeah,
they came out and I think it was just me and her. I called my husband. I was like, dude, you have to try this egg roll. So that's always a go-to for us. I have brought my kids when my dad, Dale Moore, plays the first Thursday of every month.
yeah.
Um, and we went and listened and her favorite, I gotta remember what it is, the dessert. It's a rum cake that comes out and they light it
Mm,
on fire and it's a whole
yes,
experience
yeah.
like every week they're like, so can we go get that fire cake?
The fire cake.
Yes,
Maybe we should rename it the
we
fire cake.
totally should. It's amazing, but such good food, everybody. It really
Thank
is
you.
legitimate. I think last time I went, I got a steak, and I was like, "Well, I didn't know that because I don't get out much." That they have like big old plates now, so that's
Yeah.
awesome. What was your vision for that? It's such a beautiful building, and I know, like, what was it? Share with everybody what it was before for those who might not be local and know the history.
Yeah. So I guess I have to start a little bit before
Hmm.
my business partner Tyler Griffin. I met Tyler in college. He's from Wise Fork, Kinston area, but we didn't know each other until college. Both went to school for theater. We've always stayed connected after school and always talked about maybe we'll own our own bar one day, something fun. And um, around 2019, we were getting business plans together and decided to do something. Our original idea was something far more casual, but still on the music side and
Hmm.
fun. As you know, as a realtor, inventory downtown, it's very hard to get into spaces.
Hmm.
So, I mean, we were looking for about, a year or so. Things would pop up, then the flood happened downtown, and downtown kind of closed up, and we were still looking. We saw the Baxter building, and were able to communicate with Jim Bisbee and get a showing. And we kind of, once we got into it and closed, we pivoted our more casual idea to something that would pay homage more towards the history of the building. Which, for those who don't know, the Baxter building was a jewelry store for close to 100 years.
Hmm.
Then it was an art gallery that Jim Bisbee had, and now it's our restaurant. And
Hmm.
we've sort of paid homage to the Baxter jewelry family. by keeping the original mahogany 30-foot long, 9 feet high cabinets that we have on either side
Mm-hmm.
for the bar, and then one's made into a canopy on the other side. So that, in essence, lent itself to the higher end vibe and setting that we had. We were like, if we got to keep the mahogany cabinets and everything, we've got to go all out. We've got to do it right. It was go big or go home. And were we scared, and were we sweating, or were we, what are we doing? Yes, I mean, all those questions. But when we opened up, the public welcomed us with open arms, and downtown New Bern community as a whole has been so welcoming to us. And we've really got a nice audience now, nice regulars who come in all the time, and becoming a staple here in New Bern.
I love it. It's beautiful in there. You guys did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Now you decided. Okay, so I'm going to start this way. If anybody's been downtown, there's the best. I want to know whose idea that was to take that window and ask all the questions and get people to vote on what is this going to be in the old Captain Ratties building, or half of it. And all the questions, like, is it another bar? Is it going to be another restaurant? Is it going to be a cat? What does it say? A cat's
A
something?
vegan cat food cafe.
Yes. Whose idea was that? Because it's brilliant.
It was a mixture of mine and Tyler's idea. I can't take full credit for it. We were every Friday night, or around Friday nights or Saturday nights, when Tyler and I, after our staff meetings, we go do paperwork at Baxter sometimes, and we just talk about what we need to do in the next week or so. And we're coming up to wanting to kind of engage with the public, and gather emails for newsletters and that kind of stuff, and let's do something fun and create curiosity around what we're doing. Everybody's asking questions. Let's do something along the lines of the cheekiness and the fun that we're going to have with our concept,
Mm-hmm.
and ask these questions, see what people want. And if we got a tremendous response about one thing, maybe that would help us pivot our idea.
Mm-hmm.
But we got some really fun responses, some crazy responses, some that you could tell were just kidding, that could obviously not happen. I'll have to share some of them with you at
Yeah.
some point. Some of them are not appropriate to share on a broadcast,
I
but
understand.
we just decided to have fun with it,
Yeah,
honestly.
that was
Yeah.
awesome. Did you get a lot of good ideas from that? Did your what you guys decided to do come from any of those ideas, or was it all just mostly goofy people?
Mostly just trying to be goofy and just trying to engage. We had our concept vaguely at that point,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't set in stone. We were still interested to hear what people had to say. Um, you know, when we came up with our current concept, which the new business is called the Tasty Taco and Tiki Bar, Tyler and I are big, tiki bar fans. We love tiki bars, and every time we travel somewhere, we got to go see a tiki bar, or we got to, go to somewhere beachy, and
Yeah,
go to some island
Margaritaville
or
kind of thing.
something. Exactly. And Tyler's a huge Jimmy Buffett fan, so
I mean, you have a friend
Nashville.
here, Malcolm. How do you say his name? Chitty? I don't want to say.
Malcolm Chitty.
Yeah, he already hollered Margaritaville on here for you.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can see the comments there. Oh, I can see some now.
Well,
Yeah.
he
What's
called
up,
you King.
Malcolm?
Yeah, first he said, I'm going to put him on here. I don't know if you can see him or not. Yay, King Vaughn was the the first one.
Yeah.
And then Margaritaville. I love it.
Yeah, Malcolm's great. Malcolm used to work at Baxter's with us, and he was
Okay.
always entertaining and a fun guy to be around.
That's awesome. So it's a tasty taco and tiki bar. So tell me a little bit of y'all's heart behind this place.
Yeah, so, you know, originally when the Ratties building came up for sale, after Ratties closed, we really wanted the corner building.
Mm,
And so for those that don't know, it's two different properties. There's the corner building, which the Stubbs owned as Ratties, and they were renting the space that we're in
mm-hmm,
from Bill Benners, who owned the building, a long time ago. The restaurant had kind of Frankenstein the two buildings together over the last 30 some years.
mm-hmm,
So when we went to go look at buying the corner building, we wanted to kind of look at renting the other half too.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, things happened. We couldn't, get the corner building. You know how that happens in real estate.
Yeah.
But we already had started the conversation with Bill Benners about his half, and we thought, maybe we could pivot our concept a little bit, and we could use this space. It's got a huge kitchen in the back. We can take it down a wall or so and get a dining room downstairs, put the tiki bar upstairs. We have an event space in the back upstairs that can hold about, 60 people in the event space. Got another 50, 60 people you can hold upstairs in the front space, and another maybe 50 people downstairs. So you could probably do about 125, 150 people, seated down. The kitchen is way too big for just tacos. So we wanna eventually, maybe do some catering and do some other things like that and expand our to-go options, and we're gonna start with, some nice tacos, nice, menu. It's gonna be trendy tacos, fun drinks and such, and then as we start to roll out some more fun stuff, and keep a lookout. We're planning on putting, you know how Krispy Kreme has a hot and ready sign up in the window, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna do something similar in that vein, but I'll explore more of that later as we get
Oh,
closer.
that's exciting.
So
So we were just discussing offline ahead of time about this, about the downtown area and kind of like affordability, and just like not just downtown, like life is not very affordable right now. So
yeah.
price wise, as far as this wow, tasty taco place, that's a hard one. Tasty taco tiki bar. I'll have a hard
Yeah, the
time with
3
that.
Ts.
Got it. Alliterations, wonderful. Affordability wise, is this going to be something that's not necessarily more family oriented, but maybe more affordable for people who do have kids and want to go downtown a little bit?
Yeah, so, having Baxter's, which is more on the high end, mahogany, leather wrapped furniture, that kinda stuff. We obviously know that's on the higher end, price-wise, and a lot of downtown is trending that way, and we hear everybody. We're, aware of people's feelings on that and everything, and
Hmm.
because of that, I think we wanted to find something to fill a gap that was being left out, in downtown, which is that middle ground, a little more casual dining,
Hmm.
not too expensive, fun, creative, splashy, not too stuffy, and just kinda roll with that and see
Hmm.
how that goes.
When are you guys shooting to open?
So we're hoping the end of June. That would
Okay.
be ideal, would be end of June, so we're coming up on that pretty soon here. I mean, time flies, but we're getting to the point where a lot of our work is, um, more cosmetic and such, and we can start rolling faster. So we just hope that, inspections and everything goes well. We don't have any curveballs thrown at us before we open, and we can get rocking and rolling. So I do want to encourage people to follow the Tasty Taco and Tiki Bar page, which is at facebook.com/eat tasty tacos. On all of our social media, it's at eat tasty tacos. Because we will be announcing in the next coming weeks, employment opportunities
Okay.
and other opening ideas. So
That's awesome. We are super excited about it. Um, I'm just gonna ask, like, is this the only initiative you have right now, or do you have other things that you're working on that nobody knows yet and you want to like make me famous?
Um, I can give you a little bit of a scoop. There's a handful of people who know,
Mm,
some things we're working on. One of the things that time and time again in surveys or study groups that research study groups that the city is either paid for or other organizations have paid for to come to town, to do a survey on what we want in town, especially in downtown.
mm-hmm,
And also, one of the top things that's searched with New Bern and Google, as far as the tourism side goes, is looking for tours, tour businesses,
mm-hmm,
things to explore and see the town.
mm-hmm.
People are asking for it. So we have a business that's coming up soon. Hopefully, can announce in the next week or two a tour type experience downtown that I think a lot of people will enjoy. It'll be There'll be some family-oriented aspects to it as well. It's green, it doesn't harm the environment, it'll be fun, get a little exercise while you're at it too. So that's my hint
Okay,
right now.
okay. That's awesome. Oh, I can't wait to hear. Um, what do you think time-wise that would be? Like next year, maybe the end of this year? Is it going to be something that's real complex or just,
Oh, it'll definitely be ready this summer.
oh,
It'll be
awesome.
ready this summer. We're just, tying up a few loose ends on it and
Mm-hmm.
getting, the last minute details together, and, hopefully, we'll unveil it really soon.
We're going to have like people guessing down here. Dale Moore says singing/performance stores. Everybody's gonna be like,
That's
I'm
an
like,
interesting idea.
it is. I'm like, bicycles. Are we getting on bikes?
Singing on bicycles.
I mean, it could be a
Interesting idea.
very, very entertaining
Yeah,
thing.
it definitely could be.
Yeah,
It
watching.
could be for sure.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So you're really involved, obviously, downtown, and not just necessarily with your own businesses. So, what is something that excites you the most of where you're seeing New Bern heading right now?
I think New Bern has been doing, so great in making progress and, being on the cutting edge of things. What I'm excited for is for them to keep that momentum up so that we can keep providing more, modern ideas downtown as far as engaging with people. That's not all about spending money, but about creating a third space, a
Mm-hmm.
third place. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about when I say third place, you got work and you got home, and then there's the third place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where people hang out. We want people to come downtown. I say all the time, being a restaurant owner, people say, "Aren't you in competition with these other restaurants?" I say, "No, I don't." We all offer something different. If you go to somebody else's restaurant and not a restaurant in downtown, I don't care. I just want
Mm-hmm.
people downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I want people downtown. Downtown needs people to come downtown. We need locals as well as tourists.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that there was, you know, the tourist was the bread and butter, or the locals were the bread and butter, and the tourist was the cream on top. It's kind of switched. Now it's tourism is kind of the bread and butter, and the locals are the cream on top. We want to reinvigorate downtown so that the locals have something new to enjoy downtown. Because after a while, you know, the locals have seen it all. They're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna take the trolley tour every week. Some people do, and that's cool. But we wanna keep changing New Bern. New Bern downtown cannot become a cul-de-sac. It has to be vibrant. It's a commercial district, and we have to remember that it's the hub of the tourism here in Craven County. It's the reason people come to Craven County, is to visit downtown New Bern
Mm-hmm.
and to see our history and to see our people. And I have people who come into Baxter's all the time and say, "I can't believe this town exists. It's so awesome. It's like a Oz over the rainbow." And a lot of people come into my place looking to move here, to live here, and they're looking for houses at the same time. And they need to, meet nice realtors like you, Lene. And they just talk. They go on and on about how nice the people are, and we just need to keep that up and the progress. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said before, and like I'll always say, downtown does not need to be a cul-de-sac, and we need to keep growing. Smart, healthy ways, yes, but we need to keep growing.
What do you think is something that could attract the local people back? I do know, like every time me and Aaron, I feel like what it basically is when you live somewhere for so long, you become accustomed to how great it is, and you just don't even realize it anymore until you go. And so, not
Yeah,
long ago, we went and had coffee at the little place that's next door to you, and we were sitting there, and he's like, "Why don't we do this more often?" And I'm like, I really don't know. It's like you just forget when you're not actively in it. So, what do you think is something
right.
we could do? I mean, as people of New Bern to get the word out, or the people of downtown to invite the locals to come back more often?
I think it's as simple as this. Right now we live in a world where everything is big box stores. Amazon, Walmart, Target, what have you. And people get, love-hate relationships with these places because of their political leanings or whatever. We should forget all that and realize that we're a community of people who have businesses, mom and pop shops downtown, because that's really all it is downtown. There's no McDonald's downtown,
Mm-mm.
right?
Yeah.
You can choose to go spend, and McDonald's is even getting expensive. You can go choose to spend your money at McDonald's, or you can go spend it at a mom and pop place downtown. In
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, there's nothing to stop Walmart or Amazon to say, hey, let's give you more incentives to stay home and forget about your town, forget about your community, and shop online. Because that's
Mm-hmm.
all they care about.
Mm-hmm.
Downtown is about experiences, and I think when more people share that and realize that and preach that, you'll have more people spending more time downtown, whether they're spending money or not,
Mm-hmm.
because you could just walk around downtown for free.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the architecture,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Come and support local mom and pop stores and restaurants.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what's your favorite hidden gem in New Bern?
Oh, well, of course, it's hard to ask. I'd have to say it's my place, obviously.
Absolutely. In
I you
addition
know,
to your
I
place, something that people don't know. I mean, Baxter's, I feel like people know about it, but they think it's a bar. So that's like my big goal here is to let people know that there's more to it than you're not just sitting there
right.
having a drink. There's food, there's a vibe,
Yeah, there's
there's
food
music,
there, there's
something.
entertainment, it's a vibe, it's somewhere
Yeah.
that you can kinda relax and enjoy the atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to make a place like that, that was, like, the best kept secret or the not best kept secret, whatever the phrase is you can turn it into.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I if I don't wanna say, something else is my favorite hidden gem and leave somebody else out because I think
Yeah.
everything is so wonderful downtown.
Well, it could be something like my favorite park bench to just sit and see this that I never see anybody do. You know what I mean? Like, or just walking through the gardens. I know people don't even think about that, especially with Triumph Palace, that they have like the open garden
Yeah,
stuff. And so I think there's a lot of things that you can do that's affordable or free often that people just don't
for
even.
free. I don't Yeah, and so, okay, something that I like doing every now and then, I'm like, "Oh, I should walk that way. I should do
Mhm.
this," is walking through, and maybe they won't like me saying this or not, but walking through the garden at the, Baptist church
Mhm.
downtown across from the New Bern Civic Theater.
Mhm.
It's just a nice little people now that I've said it, everyone's gonna flock there, and I'm gonna get hate mail or
No,
something.
you're not.
But walking through that little garden, even though it's small, I walked my son through there the other day when we were cutting through from the farmer's market, and it's just a peaceful little place, a nice little, break from everything else. P A lot of people don't know it's there,
Hmm.
I would say that's probably my little hidden gem that I'd like.
So I love that. We talk about all the time. We love walking, like through Union Point and then going in front of the hotels and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
there's not usually not a lot of traffic going that direction either, where people are just not really aware or they're just all downtown. So, is there anything else you'd like to add? And also, people who are watching, if you have questions, like please throw them out there for him as well, because we're kind of wrapping up now with what I have. So, is there anything you'd like to include for everybody watching?
Um, I don't know if I have something off the top of my head that I can, grab at to fill some time here.
No, your new chef.
Um
Let's talk about him a little bit. You mentioned it in
Oh,
passing,
yeah, let's talk
but
about Jay.
we've got a new chef. So
Okay.
tell us about him and what he's bringing to the table. Huh? Get it?
Yeah. Well, he's bringing a lot to the table.
Mm-hmm.
We did some interviews and had some callbacks, so to speak. And when we met Jay, the vibe was just right. I mean, he, had a good energy, great smile, just calm, relaxed dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he made great food. He just made fantastic food. And we're very excited to see what he can do. He is around our age. He's very, with it and kind of energized to, really make Baxter something special and try new things. And there's a lot of excitement around Jay being there. We've got some new dishes on the menu that other people would love to see. We got some more gluten-free options that we can kind of change into gluten-free options, some vegetarian options, that we can pivot to as well, and the biggest thing I will stress when you go to a restaurant, if something isn't to your liking, speak
Mm,
with the manager, and I would say 98% of places that you go to, they wanna make it right for you, and they wanna make it right for you on the spot. Going home and complaining about something on Facebook later after you didn't say something to the manager, or when the manager comes by and you just say, "Oh, everything's fine," and you don't wanna talk about it,
mhm,
that's very hard for us to see as restaurant owners, when you run to Facebook and just complain about it on these review sites and such,
mm,
when you didn't even give us the chance to fix it for you.
yeah,
So I would just say, remember that the people who are working for you in the service industry are people. We wanna give you a good service experience. So just, kind of understand that. We don't want you to have a bad meal. We don't want you to have a
mhm.
bad taste in your mouth. We wanna make things right, and so, speak with us. We're happy to hear your concerns or questions, that kinda stuff, and we'll work it out for you.
That's awesome. Is he bringing any new things to the menu that you'd like to mention? I know you say like some things are going seasonal and whatnot, but just out of curiosity.
Yeah, so we've got, some fried green tomatoes on the menu
Mm,
now that are delicious. We've got, some other things, vegetarian options, cauliflower steak. We've got a awesome allspice pork chop dish that's on the menu now. We've got a stuffed mahi,
mm.
that's delicious. We've got some other desserts that are coming now too. We've got this kind of chocolate Oreo mousse cake,
Oh, I saw that one.
that we just posted on Facebook
Yeah.
recently that, flying off the shelf, so make sure you come before we either A, run out of it or decide to switch up other desserts. So, if you love something, we always love to hear it too, and the more people we get that love a certain dish, the more likely it is to stay. I have heard some people even today saying, "Oh, you took the Reuben off the menu," which I get it. I love the Reuben as well, and that may be back seasonally, but we're
Mhm,
gonna try some new things and see what sticks, and you may see the Reuben again, so
mm.
just stay tuned.
I don't think I got to try that. Actually, Kelsey, I think, got it once and I got to try hers and it was delicious. Kind of like flipping back to your entertaining career as far as that goes. Are you, I know in the past, I don't know if it was a year or two because it's going by so quick, you had a Broadway um show that you had done locally. Was it Closer Than Ever, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You working on anything like that for everybody?
Well, I don't know how I have time to do all this stuff, but, the New Bern Civic Theater, Bradley Moore, he is directing America 250: The Eras Tour,
Mm,
and so it's kind of this, journey through the ages of music and how it's transitioned over the 250 years, and
that's
there'll be
awesome.
songs, there'll be sketches and that kinda stuff in it, and, I've been volunteered into that show, and I'm excited to do some funny sketch work and sing some songs again, and, that'll be at the end of June, I believe, is when that show comes up.
What era do you get to cover? I wonder.
Well, I get to cover a lot, I get to cover a lot in this show because it's a tight cast, so we all kinda have to do whatever. There's a little bit of Beatles, there's some ABBA, you'll hear me sing an ABBA song. I get to sing, a New Kids on the Block song that I haven't really done any New Kids on the Block before, so that'll be fun.
That'll be new.
And then my sister had a poster of them in her bedroom, growing up.
That is awesome. Well, how about for Baxter's? What does the entertainment? I had somebody ask on here, what are some upcoming acts or shows at Baxter's that um, you're excited about this summer?
Yeah, so, I would say one thing we're excited about on July 4th is we're gonna bring a burlesque act in on July 4th. Everybody's gonna have fireworks, so we thought we'd do
Hmm.
something a little different and change it up. It'll be tamed, for
Hmm.
the, atmosphere and everything, but she's also a fantastic singer. We're gonna announce her soon, coming up. That'll be July 4th, and it's a Saturday. Looking forward to that. We've got, a lineup of really great performers, your dad being one of them.
Hmm.
I love working with your dad so much. He's totally relaxed guy. And I don't know if he told you, but I and that was supposed to show up, and all of them show up except for the piano player because the piano player dates mixed up. And the band leader looks at me and was like, "Vaughn, can you play the piano? Can you do this?" I was like, "No, you don't want me to. You don't want me to do that. But let me call my friend Dale. Let me just see if he's available." And this was like in the 11th hour. Okay, this is like coming down to it. They gotta start in like 15 minutes or something. I called Dale and I said, "Dale, I will love you forever and pay you if you could just come and do this for me tonight. They don't have a piano player." And he came in and he sat in on it and had a great time, and forever thankful for that. And he's also done some other gigs I've referred him to. Dale's great. So Dale, if you're listening, thank you for what you do.
That
A
stresses
lot of
me
our other
out just
performers
thinking
are
that
great.
last minute.
We got a lot of community performers that play at Baxter's too. Aaron Davenport, Phil Rounsong, just to name a couple that have been staples for us and that we love having time and time again. Our brunch piano, Hans and Lynn, they're becoming really community staples with their regular gigs. One of the cool things I think that I would like to mention is that I'm a performer. I'm a musician. I'm so proud of the fact that we have a place where we can pay and hire musicians. While it's not New York prices that we're able to pay these musicians, and I wish it was, but that's just not the reality. But we have, you know, I don't know, several hundred acts every year that we bring in, and probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest employers of music, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And it gives me great pride to be able to say that I'm supporting the artists here in New Bern and surrounding areas in Eastern North Carolina by providing those gigs, because I was a gig worker. I was a singer that I went from place to place, lounge to lounge, singing gigs, schlepping my equipment around. We do have an initiative program in Baxter's called the Stars Initiative, which is supporting theaters, artists, and regional stages.
Mhm.
So we like to the money that we get from cover charges and all that kind of stuff goes towards the program of supporting those artists by paying them to come and sing at Baxter's. We've also used those funds from the Stars Initiative to support things like the local theaters and sponsor artists in our local community. And I'm very proud to be able to give back to the community like that.
I love that so much. Well, everybody, keep in mind one, Baxter's is a restaurant, and you need to go check it out if you have not been
Right.
there yet. Phenomenal food. We have enjoyed it thoroughly. Two, the Tasty Taco and Tiki Bar will be opening very soon in the old Captain Ratties building. People keep asking me about that. I'm like, oh, is that what's going next to Cypress Hall? Like, no, this is not. Do you know what's going into Cypress Hall? Next door?
I've heard rumors. I don't want to go on record and say what it is because I could be totally wrong, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to offend Ashley and the guys over there. I think the things they do are great, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I love what they're doing in town with Cypress and with Harry's and everything too. So I'll leave that to them to say.
Perfect.
I do want to add that our building now is getting painted.
Okay.
We've got a beautiful teal color, kind of like the teal behind me on the wall over
Uh-huh.
here.
Okay, I can see it.
Kind
Oh,
of this
that is
color
teal.
right here.
This is
Yeah.
gonna be
So
like
if you go
tiki.
downtown, you're going to see something different downtown. And I just want to go ahead and tell everyone who's going to get upset about the color that, hey, this is going to be a fun place. The color vibes with the theme. Also, HPC, Historic Preservation Commission, has no jurisdiction over color, so don't come at me for, did you get permission to paint it that color? No. As long as the brick has been painted before, you can paint it whatever color. Same thing with the mural. It's his building. Execution is one story, but it's his building. It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful mural back there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I also love and support New Bern, and I just want the people who clutch their pearls the fastest to understand that's the answer to the question.
Good job. You hit it head on. Just perfect. I can't wait to see it. We're gonna go down there now. See what's going on. And then lastly, Lewis and Clark. Did you say it was June 13th?
Yeah, so June 13th at 3:30 and 7:30, we're going to be doing a Jimmy Buffett tribute show with a band. Tyler Griffin is on keys. I couldn't have anybody else play keys. I'm sorry, Dale, that I didn't give you the call to play keys for the show, but Tyler is the Jimmy Buffett guy.
Yeah.
And we're going to have Aaron Davenport on guitar, Josh Manier on drums, and Timmy Raynor on bass. It's going to be a fun evening. My 4-year-old and 6-year-old have asked if they can come sing backup vocals on a couple songs, and I'm like, well, let's try it out in rehearsal. So if they are, if they settle in with the whole idea, if you come to the 3:30 show, you may see a little,
That'd be awesome.
surprise performance by them coming up to sing background and, Cheeseburger in Paradise or something.
That'd be amazing. I love that so much. Tracy Markley, if you're still watching, you need to go to that show. I feel like that would be your jam completely. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us and giving us all this information. It's always exciting to go downtown, but this summer I think it's just made it that much more, knowing that, especially like a new tour that we're all trying to figure out what that looks like with exercise and incorporating all the things downtown. I'm very excited to hear about that. So, is there anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye?
No, I thank you for having me. It was fun talking and talk about the new things coming up. And maybe when I start the next business, you'll have me again.
I will. You just need to it was so funny. I told Aaron, I was like, I know they're opening something. I know they're doing something. I really hope I get to them first. And it was like 2 weeks ago you posted it. And I was like, I was so close. So close, but it's still very exciting. So I'm just glad you were able to share it with us and spend some time here. So if you need anything, you just let me know. If anybody needs to get up, any questions for Vaughn, shoot me a message. I'll get up with him for you and we can go from there. So you have an amazing day and thank you again so much.
Thank you. You too, Lene.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the train went home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah.